Hello.
Hello and welcome. This is Chrissy and Mike Kiersey. We're from Courage to Change Recovery Services. This is a training video for how to safely transport someone from the streets to detox. The facilities that we utilize most are Oak Harbor, Whatcom, and Skagit Detox.
Evergreen and
Providence?
Providence when we can.
So we field about 50 or 60 calls per week and transport about 10 or so on average to detox. And how this works is a client will call Mike or a social worker or someone will say that they've got a client that wants to go to detox. And so Mike gets on the phone with the client and asks them a series of questions. The first question is, what are they using and how frequently or when the last time they used was. They ask if they are on methadone. If they are on 30 milligrams or less, they can go to
Evergreen Detox in Linwood if they're on 30 milligrams or less. If they are on methadone, they need to get a letter from their provider faxed to the detox center, either Skagit, Whatcom, or Oak Harbor.
They would need to be willing to detox from methadone as well. So it's a little bit more complicated. The next question is, are they on benzos? And they may or may not know, but benzos are street Xanax. It's dangerous because they also use benzos in the detox process for medical detox. So the client just needs to be really honest, and everything's going to come out when they get to the detox center. They're going to be UA'd. And so we never tell the client to lie. We want the client to be as honest as possible, because everything's going to come out eventually. If they're a woman, we ask if they could be pregnant or are pregnant, and if they are, they can go to Swedish Ballard. Is there any other facilities?
Evergreen Recovery in Monroe will also detox pregnant girls at the hospital.
So we ask also if they have had history of seizures, any other major medical issues, and what medications they're on. They have to have all the medications that they're prescribed with them while they go to detox. So if they get up there and they tell the provider that they are prescribed a certain medication, they do not have that, they will be rejected from detox and we'll need to return and pick them back up.
Yep.
If the client is an alcoholic, they need to have a blood alcohol level of 0.35 or lower to go to
Whatcom or Oak Harbor.
Or a 0.25 or lower to go to Skagit.
Yep.
And we have breathalyzers in the van, so we need to verify. They need to be able to walk. They need to be able to do an intake over the phone. If they're too intoxicated, they need to go to the hospital.
Yep.
So the client, if they meet the criteria, Mike will then send them a list of phone numbers to call. The client has to be the one to do the intake or the phone screening over the phone with the detox center. If they're at a place that they're not at a textable number, Mike can do a three-way call and mute himself, and they can do the screening with the detox center. If Mike's not on the call to verify, the client will call him back and say, yes, I have a bed date at Skagit, and so Mike will then call Skagit back and say
Just to verify
with the client's first name, last name, and birthday. And then again, when they get the client in the vehicle, we'll call and say we're on our way and our ETA is this.
Yep. So most of that I will take care of, if I can, do the verification, get them ready to go. So then when I call you, then I'll send you to their location and you'll pick them up and we'll stay in communication between there and detox.
Mm-hmm. So once the client has gotten into the vehicle, the first questions we ask is, do they have any paraphernalia, any drugs, or any weapons of any kind?
Very important.
If they say that they do, we will drive that directly to a fire station to dispose of the drugs or paraphernalia. If they have a weapon,
put it under your seat.
We confiscate it.
and tell them if they get out of detox and, you know, when they get out, then if they want their stuff back, we'll give it back to them. You can put it in a bag and put their name on it and put it at the office, and we'll make sure that they get it back. Because if they successfully complete detox, then we will go pick them up, bring them either to the next place or someplace safe, or hopefully they get straight from there to treatment.
So yeah, and while they're in the vehicle, we tell the client to advocate for themselves and ask for an assessment to go to inpatient treatment. Even if at that moment they don't think that they want to, if they change their mind while they're in detox, it might be too late to get them a bed date. The goal is to go door to door, so directly from detox to treatment is the goal. If they decide that they just want to complete detox, we will pick them up and we'll get them back to a safe place, something like Nick's place if they're a man at this point, and other housing for them if they're a woman.
And, you know, I always talk to the client about, you know, if they're serious about getting clean, they need to get rid of those numbers, you know, of the people they're using with, so that we can, you know, move on from that and get them into a safe place. Because typically, if they go back to the same environment, more than likely their boyfriend or, you know, all their plugs or whatever might, you know where they're at, and then it's easy for them to pick up the phone, call, and just start using again. Mm-hmm. And that's a very dangerous point right there.
Yeah, and you know, while the client is in the car, Mike kind of talks to them about what they're going to experience. You know, that we've all been there. This is a scary moment, but this is an exciting moment. They're on the right path, and just kind of try to calm them down and know that they have an advocate.
Yeah, we don't try not to sugarcoat it. I mean, you know, I always tell them it's not going to be easy, but, you know, the outcome is well worth it, you know, if they continue on that path. Yeah.
And so the paperwork that's in the van, you will put the odometer start when they get in the vehicle, and when you drop them off, the odometer end, and then we bill for a round trip. It includes the client's first name, last name, birthday, where they're picked up from, where they're dropped off, who suggested the ride, who called in for the ride, was it a social worker, was it the detox center, etc. And then all of that paperwork is turned in so that we can invoice it for it properly. If the client goes into a psychosis or starts showing signs of an overdose, first thing to do is call 911. We do have Narcan in the vehicles. The symptoms of an overdose.
Well, they nod out, you know, start foaming at the mouth. I mean, you know, I think everybody here kind of, you know, knows what overdose looks like. And hopefully you've got Narcan training. Otherwise, we'll make sure you get that provided.
Mm-hmm. And if they're an alcoholic, it's important to keep them talking, keep them awake.
Yes.
Don't let them fall asleep. Sometimes an alcoholic will...
99.9% of the time, if they black out, fall asleep, when they wake up, they are in a full blackout, and chances are they're not going to want to get out of the van. They're going to get them to detox, and then, you know, no, I want to go home. You know, I say that's where the buck ends. If I get them to detox and they're in a blackout, then it's time to start talking to them and get them out of the van. You know, because that's what we got them there for, isn't to just drive them around, you know, make that happen. It doesn't happen that often, but typically I probably had it happen 5 times in the last year, you know, where I have to sit there and talk them, you know, back into where they're coherent enough to get out of the van to do the paperwork and whatnot when we get them to detox. So. Mm-hmm.
Alcoholics are sometimes trickier than the meth addicts or the fentanyl addicts. Yeah, so 911 is our friend. If we do have an issue that's above our pay grade, we can always reach out for help. You know, the detox centers need the client to be able to come in and act cordially. Also
seizures. You know, if alcoholics have seizures, which I don't think we mentioned, you know, you need to make sure they have their seizure medication with them, or they have to go to the hospital and get medically cleared, because when if they have had seizures, then the detox center isn't going to take them. They have to have their medications, and we have to get that cleared with them. Yeah, so that's a whole other ball game there.
Mm-hmm. But you know, if anything comes up and you need support or help, we're only a phone call away, and we have a network of people that are on our side. You're not alone in this process. It's just that we're dealing with a very vulnerable population. They're scared, you know, and we're just there to get them door to door safely, with accountability. All of our vans are equipped with cameras that are recording. We'll always have 2 people in the vehicle, so it should be, you know, a safe drive. And then you tell the client that if they complete detox completely, they can call us and we will pick them up. We also need to be prepared that if they did not divulge all their personal information, they were actually dishonest about something, and the detox center disqualifies them, that we will return and pick up the client. We won't leave them 100 miles from home.
But yeah, just so it's very important that you tell them, I don't care if you lie to me all day long, but when you talk to the detox centers, you have to be 100% honest with them, because they are going to UA you when you get there. And if you have benzos in your system, or whatever it might be, or you've had seizures and haven't told us, they will find out, because they will get their insurance, and it'll be in their medical record somewhere. So, just tell them to be very honest. That's the most important thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we'll continue to revise this training, but this was just the basics on how this is going to work. And so we wanted to get this all out, because Mike has had this in his mind, and it's an intuitive work for him, but we want to make sure that we can train others to be able to do this as safely as possible.
Yep. Very good. Excellent job, Kristen.
Well
I'm
done,
proud of
Mike.
you.